Hello, and welcome to this month's RLW Read, Listen, Watch from Roofers Coffee Shop. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and we have a very special RLW this month where we are talking about roofing school. Yes, we have higher ed roofing courses that we're going to talk about today. It is amazing. It is because of a lot of work by some amazing people. And so we have asked our friends from Beacon and the Roofing Alliance and Clemson to come and talk about the new Clemson University Roofing Alliance certified roofing courses. So before I get started, let's do a little housekeeping. This is being recorded and will be available within 24 hours. Please share it out with all of your friends and family, and especially your roofing professionals in your business and within the industry. Also, the chat is open. As you all know, we like to talk. So please, I already see it coming in here from Joe and Tammy. Please let us know who you are and where you're from. And please share your comments, thoughts, and especially your questions throughout this whole RLW. So let's get started. I am so thankful to Beacon for being the sponsor of this RLW and for Greg Bloom, who is here today as one of our panelists who gives so much to the industry. Greg, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I love it. If you could introduce yourself for those few people who don't know you and tell us a little bit about what you do with Beacon, that would be awesome.
Sure. I think I have the tenure award, although Allison's very close to me. I've been in the roofing industry for 42 years, since 1982. I am 42 years actually with one company. So I was 36 years with Allied Building Products, and then Beacon gave us a blessing of acquiring us. And I've been with Beacon for 6 years, and I currently run the national account team for Beacon, and they are a wonderful group of people that I'm very proud of every day.
Yeah, that's so great. Thank you again. And thank you for Beacon for being such an advocate and sponsor of all of everything the Roofing Alliance does, but overall in the industry. So thank you, Greg.
You bet.
And speaking of the Roofing Alliance, it is my honor to introduce Alison LaValley, the Executive Director of the Roofing Alliance. Alison, welcome.
Good morning or good afternoon to everyone here. And thank you, Heidi, for having us. And I'm so lucky to share this sort of stage right now with Greg and Dhaval and yourself. As you mentioned, I'm right on the heels of Greg. I can't say it's been 40 years, but I have been with, I've also been with NRCA and only NRCA in the Alliance since the late 80s. It's 36 years already, and the last 3 specifically overseeing the Roofing Alliance. So to say that I am blessed to have had the opportunity to work with so many of you that might be listening and others that will later, and along with my distinguished panelists for so many years, and to really serve this industry and NRC and the Roofing Alliance. Can't say enough. When you get up every day and love the work that you do and look forward to the work that you do, that really says something about this industry and just how wonderful it is. And I'm lucky to be a part of it.
Alison, you've given so much to the roofing industry. It's just amazing. Thank you. And now as Executive Director of the Roofing Alliance, it's just like, whoosh. It's just so fun to watch. It is just amazing. And I am very pleased to introduce Dr. Dhaval Gajjar. Dhaval, thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself and tell us about what you do in Clemson.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi, again for having me. And like Alison said, I'm very humbled and honored to be here and share this panel session with the best of the best, Greg and Alison and you, Heidi, and just excited to be here. Excited to talk about what we're going to talk about, because that's my passion. Is our roofing industry and bringing more exposure to our roofing industry. A little bit about myself. I got exposed to our beautiful industry back in 2010, 2011. Through my graduate school at Arizona State University. I was focused on roofing related research at that time, working on roofing products and their performance. Then worked in the industry after I graduated from my graduate school for an extended period of time, and came to Clemson back in 2018 as a professor. And currently I am the associate department chair. So along with teaching roofing at Clemson and doing all the good things for our industry, I'm also responsible for making sure that there's a roof above our department building's head as well. So, it just expanded to multiple different facets of my role. So glad to be here, and thank you again for having me.
And it's so great. This is such a distinguished group. I am just so excited about what we're going to talk about. And everyone on here, I have to tell you, the chat is blowing up. I do want to say real quick, Tammy, thank you for giving us the update on the hurricane. And for everybody, I see a lot of folks here from Florida. We are thinking about you. I hope everything's good and those floodwaters are receding quickly. So the chat is open. Be sure to continue sharing who you are. I love Beth's comment just to work for the fantastic Greg Bloom. So there you go.
I paid her to say that. I pay her to say that.
I love it. Well, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Get that cash flowing. We are going to get started. So first thing, for those, there may be several people who are kind of like, what is the Roofing Alliance? So Alison, I would love it if you could kind of tell everyone, what is the Roofing Alliance, some of its history, what it really stands for?
Sure, I'd be glad to. The Roofing Alliance, I could talk about it in a number of ways, but I will narrow it down to say that it is a dedicated group of 200 plus thought leaders. When I say thought leaders, we're talking about a culmination of industry professionals. So whether that be contractors, those in distribution like Greg, those on the manufacturing and supplying side, we have individuals, organizations, Roofers Coffee Shop, Roofing Contractor Magazine, again, everyone that supports the industry is involved in the Roofing Alliance and encouraged to be a part of it. We are truly member driven. We're small but mighty, right? Because when you think about the size of our organization, we are a nonprofit, we're a foundation. So we kind of cast ourselves as the foundation for the industry. And we're also sort of, I would say, the charitable or philanthropic arm of the National Roofing Contractors Association. And we work hand in hand and collaborate on a lot of projects. But when I say we're small but mighty, even in an organization with 200, these thought leaders, talk about a dedicated group. We have meetings, we have task forces, we have committees, a lot of virtual meetings too. And we really get down to a lot of work. And that work centers on 4 pillars. And those 4 pillars fall around education and training with a real emphasis on workforce development, technology, sustainability, and then again, that philanthropic outreach, right? Protecting communities. We're innovative in our approach, always thinking, big picture. I had the pleasure, and Greg didn't pay me, even if he says he paid Beth, but Greg is our immediate former chairman, right? He just rolled off and still serves as immediate former, but was our chair all of the last year. And when I talked about the Alliance early on, when Greg came on board as chairing that, I talked about someone in an organization that really doesn't think out of the box. Greg pushed us to think as if there was no box. Right? I mean, what are the possibilities about what this organization can do? And with that approach, the steps we took, I mean, we've been around formally as the Roofing Alliance since 1996, started by, when you're talking about a pioneer, Melvin Kruger, right? He and a number of members and our former CEO, Bill Good, really got a core group together to say, let's look at the possibilities to shape this industry, right, in an innovative way and really secure its future. That's how I like to, kind of cast the alliance. And so this past year, a lot of the work that we did, really innovative in nature. Again, outside of the box, Greg pushed us. We hired a company really to look at us strategically and how we were positioned in the market and what else we could be doing as far as giving back, right? It's about giving back as a foundation typically would, but in doing more and really honing in on that education and workforce development piece. And there's a lot going on, a lot of arms to that, right? I could go on and on between the student competition and the faculty retreats and all the workforce initiatives and look at the curriculum. I mean, Dhaval and this liaison in partnership with Clemson, invaluable over the last 5 years, invaluable when you think about bringing roofing to higher education. And again, I could go on and on, but just kind of, the importance of having members and funding these initiatives that give back to this industry. It only makes our industry stronger. And that, I think, is the key to making sure we're, really vital in the work that we're doing, revolutionary, transforming what we're doing, and really empowering that philanthropic outreach to continue to give back.
Yep.
Greg, we are so honored to have become a member during your presidency or chairmanship. And it really was a dream for me, something I've wanted to do for a very long time. How important just being involved, you've been involved with the Roofing Alliance for so long through Allied and Beacon and everything. Can you talk about just how important it is for you and for the industry?
Sure. First of all, I want to say thank you again for joining, Heidi.
Yeah.
And then I also want to point out that certainly Alison gave me plenty of kudos about, the time that I was vice president and then also president/chair, but I couldn't have done anything without her and without the staff at the Alliance. So I tip my hat to them every day. I love them all dearly, and they really make things happen for the Alliance. So I've been involved in the Alliance since 2009. Allied and Beacon Allied was a founding member, and then Beacon joined, I think, very shortly thereafter. So let's just say Beacon for the rest of this conversation. Beacon's been involved for well over 20 plus years in the Alliance, and I've been personally involved as a trustee since 2009. So it's been honestly and truly so rewarding for me. I have a lot of rewards that have been and blessings that I've been given in this industry, and I will tell you, this is right at the top of the list. What we do every single day and the way we give back is second to none in this industry. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, but being the old guy in the industry, I kind of know a lot of the stuff that's going on, and it's just fantastic what we do, and the amount of effort that those 200 plus members and all the people that work in those companies, what we do for the industry. And one of the things that I challenged, the NRCA board when I first took over as the Alliance president was to say, hey, this is all about giving back. If you haven't started, getting involved, and I'm not asking for money, but if you want to give me money and give the Alliance money, of course, but just get involved, just be part of something special. And that's what this is. It's truly something so special, and we're making an impact on people's lives every single day.
It really is. And, one of the things that I think is so important is the Roofing Alliance has really opened up avenues for funding for new initiatives. So I think back when we were first starting National Women in Roofing, we went to the Alliance and they granted us funds for 2 years, and really was what helped get National Women in Roofing started.
Yep.
But Alison, every year we have, you have a call for funding, but you've also kind of opened it up throughout the year. Let's talk just a little bit about that process of how people can get funding from the Alliance, and really then that will lead us into the next Clemson.
Sure. We have it's sort of open enrollment. We tend to review everything after the first of the year, right? That's kind of the deadline, the end of the calendar year in December. But we have made exceptions because when proposals or research or initiatives, programs are brought to us throughout the year, we do take a look at them and we take them to our board of trustees. We have a stellar group on our board, and this year we're led by Reed Gooding, a contractor. This year we do alternate, between contractor and supplier side for leadership. And those proposals, we really take a look at them. And the example was Skills USA, right? When we, this year Skills USA came up and about us getting involved and being a sponsor for that and really being there, and it fit perfectly with our workforce development initiatives. And so we looked at that in the middle of the year. And then at other times you mentioned we've helped fund National Women in Roofing, among other things. And again, one of the biggest things that we helped fund over 5 years ago was the start of this roofing curriculum at Clemson, right? And Dhaval will get into that more. But, he came to us with this idea. And, that was a discussion too with even members. We had one of our members, Dennis Conway, who's been just so visionary about our construction management initiatives, said, we got to start somewhere, right? And that started the student competition. And then it was, reaching out to faculty. And it's always been about the Melvin Kruger scholarships. And then here was this piece with the curriculum, where Dhaval came and, he had made relationships. He had been in the industry. He understood it. He had passion for it. And then came to a meeting and made a presentation. And I know some of our members were excited right away, and others were like, "Oh, really? You really think? You really think?" But it was new, right? Really, how much interest would there be, right? You can be kind of skeptical, but then we went all in because Dhaval came, made a presentation, and he'll share more. But and talk about presentation and to watch this grow, right? Because it's one class, 2, 3 certificate program. I mean, I'm giving away as part of the presentation, but it's just been, in 5 years, the growth has been phenomenal.
It is so true. So Dhaval, let's
Yes.
talk about it.
I
Let's
opened
talk
it up
about
for
the
you, Dhaval.
history.
I set you up. Come on.
Yes.
Oh boy, Alison, thank you for, just how passionate Alison is, that's how, passionate I am. And I know everyone on this call, on this webinar is, because, a little bit of background, and, like Alison said, there was a call for funding from the Roofing Alliance. And, but before I get to, the Alliance funding, I really want to give you a story about my personal story and how this all came about. I shared a little bit that, I got introduced to roofing back in 2010, 2011. And just like anyone else, my professor at that time had a roofing project, a research project, and he didn't know who was supposed to do it. And I needed a project for my graduate school. So he said, "This is yours." And I fell in love with it. As soon as I, started to learn more about the industry, started interacting with people in the industry, and went out and inspected roofs as part of my graduate studies. And I'm like, this is a phenomenal industry that is a well-kept secret unintentionally, right? I mean, one to go, but it's a well-kept secret. So, and then of course I graduated, worked in the industry, managed large portfolios of building construction projects. But roofing was always at my heart. And I love teaching. I love to give back. So I decided that at my, after about 7 to 10 years in the industry, I decided to come back and, do what I love to do, which is to teach. And that's how I ended up at Clemson. The interesting thing happened when I came to Clemson. When I looked at our construction management curriculum, and this applies to really, all over nationally within any construction management program, we had classes on pretty much everything. We look at concrete, we look at steel, we look at HVAC, we look at electrical, we look at estimating, general contracting world. But guess what was missing? Our industry. I realized our industry was only taught for about 45 minutes in the entire construction management curriculum.
Yeah.
That includes undergraduate and graduate studies. And I thought, what are we doing here? We have this beautiful industry that has amazing opportunities, amazing career path, a lot of good money and good people, and you get to make a difference in someone's lives by giving shelter to them. I mean, what a beautiful story. And that story doesn't exist. So in 2019, about 1 year being at Clemson, my department chair met with the PASSIF and RCA, Bill Good, through other, relationships. And, at that time, my department chair introduced me to the Roofing Alliance through Bill Good. And the conversation was, we have funding available for higher education and for any research that you want to do within roofing. So that's how the funding came about. It's like there's a need for the industry. There's this gap in academia, and there's a hunger for workforce. So why don't we bring all those three aspects together and create this beautiful proposal that hopefully the roofing industry will like it. And so I showed up in Phoenix in 2019 at the Alliance meeting, not knowing anyone, and I'm standing in front of 150, one of the most highly achieved, highly qualified folks, and talk about this roofing class. Very close. But literally, like my experience has been with the industry, as soon as I pitched this idea, they were excited. The industry professionals were so excited that they're like, this is what we need to do. But they were very skeptical because I had proposed, creating a roofing class that'll be 3 credits, and that's going to count towards our construction management degree. And we're going to do this in less than 1 year. And they're like, you sure about that? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but we're going to try. But yes, we're going to do it. And so that's how this whole beautiful process started, Heidi. Just been amazing to see, in 2019, standing up and presenting this proposal. And I want to give kudos to the industry, to the Alliance, Alliance members. There were 150 at that time, I believe, and they took a chance on this. So this is not only the Dhaval show. This is actually a true collaboration between myself, Clemson, and hundreds of Alliance members. Of course, there were a few key ones that were decision makers, but this is a true academic industry collaboration, and that's why this has been so successful.
And I remember being so excited listening to you present, but I really had no idea how big this was going to grow. Greg,
None of us did.
yeah, it was. Yeah, what were your thoughts like when we first had this proposal?
So obviously, I wasn't one of the skeptics. I promise you, but obviously, it was something that we were going to have to watch and see how it evolves. And then I was honored to be invited by Dhaval to speak at Clemson and be a guest lecturer along with Eric Zadrozny of Beacon. And the interaction that class had with us that day was unbelievable. And that's when it really clicked then. And I said, we got something going here. And obviously Dhaval has something going here. And I got to tell you, we were supposed to speak for an hour and a half. I think we were there for almost 3 hours, right, Dhaval?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
I hate to talk. But no, it was the engagement. There were graduate students, there were undergrad students. They were phenomenal. I think I had 13 of them hit me up on LinkedIn afterwards to connect. Yeah. It was great. So, I mean, obviously I knew things were progressing nicely, but that's when I really felt like, okay, what I've done so far isn't near enough. I'm going to get more and more involved and do whatever I can to help.
And that really was how it was built, was the industry experts. So Dhaval, how did that, I mean, I was lucky. Karen and I also were lucky to speak. Yeah. I mean, you just reached out and got so many people. So tell us, how did you put all this together?
Yeah, that's, that again goes back to 2019. One of the hardest things to do within academia is to put a new course together. I mean, it takes years and years to actually put a 3-credit course that will count towards your degree, right, at all levels. And so, one of the challenge was, yes, we have this great idea, we want to do this, but what are we going to cover in this course? And I am humble enough to know that I don't know everything about roofing. I know, 1% of, 100% that exists in the industry. And so I thought, we need to go to the experts. We really need to go and talk to the roofing industry and really understand their perspective and their need from the industry, right? I mean, if we are serving a client, we want to know what the client wants, what's the need. And so there was one simple question we asked via surveys to the entire roofing industry at that time is, if you were to have a construction management student graduate and work in the roofing industry, what are some of the skills and topics you think are important for them to know where you won't have to spend as much time training and onboarding that they can go on first day and they can take on projects? And so we actually did a very robust study of the entire industry. And believe it or not, we got over 200 responses at that time, which was phenomenal. And again, but I'm going to keep going back to how phenomenal the people are in our industry. And through that collaboration, when we ran the numbers, we came up with about 27 topics that the industry thought was important that we needed to cover. Of course, there's no way we can cover those 27 topics in 4 months of even one semester. So what we decided was, as a pilot study, let's introduce a first course and take the top 10 topics that they deemed were like absolute essential. And so that's what we did. And as part of that, we really asked the industry to help us. As part of that study, we also asked industry experts to donate materials, to come and speak in my classes, to donate the content, to donate pictures. And, Heidi, I have to tell you, the amount of excitement, the amount of responsiveness I got from the industry was mind-blowing. Yeah. I mean, it got to a point where I was overwhelmed with, what to do with all this information I have. And that really solidified that the industry is excited about this. And, when I say this, it's a true effort collaboration between academia, and the industry. When we offered the first course, we thought, it says roofing in the title at a college level. Who's going to sign up for a roofing course? I mean, we didn't know, right? And we were happy with 4 to 5 students at that time. It's a first course. If we get 4 to 5 students, we're successful. We had 23 students sign up for that first course. And we were amazed by it. Now, to give some perspective, our traditional class for a construction management required class is between 25 to 35. So to have a 23 to 25 student course as an elective, that's phenomenal. That's very phenomenal. And we actually did surveys as well before the class and after the class. And that first class was so successful that it became the highest rated class in our department, period. A lot of comments were coming like, this is one of the best courses. We finally get to learn about the industry that we didn't know about. It's such a great industry. And then came to a conclusion that they never knew what exists in our industry. They never knew. They were never told. And so that's how, it was built. And, to go to the next 17 topics that were left, because the first course was so successful, another round of funding came about after that. And we collaborated and came together and we said, look, guys, we're onto something here. Let's not stop the momentum. And this was during COVID as well. We didn't know what was going to happen, but kudos again to the industry that they saw the vision. The members saw the vision, the board saw the vision, the alliance saw the vision, and they said, yes, there is something here. So we created 2 more courses in roofing, but taking the remaining topics. And that's what built, this whole coursework, which is now we have 3 courses. 3 credits each, total of 9 credits. We have a roofing certificate program. We teach them about, and we'll go into the topics in the next couple of minutes. But 3 courses, 9 credits, and the beautiful thing is those 9 credits counts towards their graduation for their bachelor's degree, master's degree, and their doctorate degree in construction as well.
Wow.
Woo! Yeah.
So cool. So, and Alison, when you look at that and you think the funding that went along with that, I mean, the Roofing Alliance has just been, it's kind of almost a no-brainer, but I mean, I know it's always stressful to apply and to come back and present Dhaval. I'm not making it small, but everybody was so excited. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's funny. I had Dhaval share with me some numbers even coming forward, and when he started talking about it, I know it sounds silly, but the hair on my arm is standing up because I'm just so excited about, to see this like evolution. And every year he comes back, and if he didn't come back, they'd probably ask where he was.
Yeah.
And, but these classes, and one thing that even Dhaval mentioned about undergraduate, graduate, doctorate. And then this is in person and online too. So these classes, this attendance for all of these, sometimes these classes are in person. During part of COVID, people were doing things virtually. The speakers were doing, our members were talking virtually. And for instance, Dhaval just shared with me earlier about the next class coming up. And I'll let him share numbers when he talks about it, but it's fully online. And the amount of undergrad and grad students signed up for that is like basically maxed out.
Yeah.
So already.
That's awesome.
Right.
So good.
And this is a repeat, so this isn't new. We don't have to try, they hear from others and want more. And I'm so glad we built on the first one to second and third, because now, which we'll talk about later too, we've mirrored that for the industry, right? Because we have an online certificate program. So now we're not only educating students, but we're allowing members to, get their employees involved and new hires and, sales teams, et cetera. So, and, our work isn't over as we are doing other work, and I'm sure Dhaval will talk about it. We will have class 4, right? Because we are in the midst of funding a sustainability project and resiliency project, research project. So that will turn into class 4. And so there's just more and more. And, when you're talking about sustainability and resiliency, that piques the interest of so many of this, the younger generation, really the whole industry. But so it's just, the tentacles of it just continue to grow, and people are responding, and it's positive. I know, Dhaval could talk for hours about the surveys he does to the kids afterwards, right? And it's where he mentioned it's one of the highest rated. Whether, I know hearing from industry is one of the top things of these classes, which is just phenomenal. But, the content and so forth, it's getting rave reviews. And even though it's a partnership with Clemson, right, it's available to any construction management accredited university throughout the country and at the technical college level too, because we have technical colleges currently using the first class now. So, it's not just about the Alliance in Clemson. It's about all construction management efforts. And
Yeah.
share that. We know that at least 10 to 12 other schools, at least that we know about, are using it, right? Arizona State's built up a program, Kirkwood Community College. In Florida, they're using it. At Bradley, they're using it. At Drexel, they're using it. So it's just phenomenal. I'll
It's
have to
catching
stop
on.
again. You got to cut me off.
The fire is catching on.
I know the fires catch on. Well, and so, okay. And I was gonna say Cal Poly, Arizona. I mean,
Poly.
there's just so much.
Yeah.
So what do these courses look like now after, where we're at Dhaval so people kind of get an idea of 1, 2, and 3, what they include?
Yeah. Heidi, that's a great question. We wanted to be very strategic, on how we layer some of these topics because, as part of our academics, we do a lot of research on, how different generations learn. And so we actually put a lot of time investing in, some of the different learning methodologies and what the research has to say and how and to what extent. So we put a lot of thinking on how the whole curriculum was structured together. So if you look at the first course, which is called our, roofing fundamentals, and just the name sounds, is the roofing fundamental course. And that first course really goes into, if you look at our first module, the question starts with, where is a roof on a building? I mean, that's where we start. We start with the basics from what's a steep slope and what's a low slope, right? I mean, and you're like, well, so we start with the very basics. And so the first course really builds knowledge for someone that does not know what our industry is. They can come and take the first course and walk out from their course knowing what are the different types of roofing systems, how are they installed, what are the different layers and components, how to do some basic estimating, safety aspects in the roofing industry. We talked about repairing and maintaining the roof, and we talked about career paths. And so really what that gives is a good foundation, for someone that is not knowledgeable about the industry. And this first course has been the most successful, like Alison talked about, as we go into other universities and colleges, because that's the one where the students get the knowledge of what the roofing industry is. Now I'm not spending too much time. You look at this, we spend 4 months on this content during a given semester. So there's a lot of information. So when we talk about, say, for example, TPO, we spend 1 week on TPO. We're not just talking about 5 minutes on TPO. I mean, they have to know inside out, on what that roofing system is, how it's put together, what are the building codes, what are the assemblies, everything. So we go in depth of all these basic aspects of the roofing industry. The second one is called roofing management, and that focuses a little bit more on, some of the intricate details of the roofing industry. So this is good for someone that has some basic knowledge, has taken the first one and is going to go on the second one. And there we focus on, the building codes of the roofing industry. We talk about advanced technologies. We talked about risk management. We talk about, hail, fire, wind, all those aspects. So a little bit more in depth about, what our industry is. And when we did the survey, it's very interesting that one of the key things that came about from the survey was the focus on business and leadership, which was very amazing to me. As we talked to the roofing industry, there was a heavy need for leadership and business aspects of the roofing industry. And hence, course number 3 focuses on, communication, sales, and marketing, which you have come out and done at Clemson. Thank you for doing that. Leadership, negotiation, sales, starting a business, how to sustain a business, some financial aspects of business, right? So that third one focuses on the business and leadership course. So if you look at this curriculum, the industry is so excited because this is one of those curriculums that covers pretty much all the major things that you would want someone to know about our roofing industry. And the beautiful thing about this course is, we recruited experts from all over the country. Like, we have Greg and, Heidi, you have spoken on a few of the topics. We recruited experts from the industry and vetted the content with the other Alliance members and the task force and really, put this in a way where every industry expert got to contribute to their specific content. And so industry experts were a huge help as we put together this content. So again, we have a 4th one coming up on sustainability. That's going to be added as well. That's coming up next spring. And believe it or not, the next step is a roofing minor. That's what we're going to go after. We have a certificate now, then we have a roofing minor. So a student graduating
Good
from
as that.
these programs will have bachelor's degree in construction management with a minor in roofing. What a beautiful
Wow.
thing. What a beautiful
Ever
thing.
think we could get there?
It's
No,
just so
Harrison-
cool.
In 5 years, all in 5 years, less than 5 years.
And the fact that it's going all over the country and going to
Yes.
other schools, and other schools are able to get this curriculum and the manual, which you have a full textbook now for the courses, and that is free through
Yeah.
the Roofing Alliance to any university construction management program, vocational school. And we have a great question. It's just a perfect time. Joe, hello, Joe, said today, how can we offer time support for the education presenter, sharing areas of experience and expertise? Is there a need for individuals? I think there's a need for teachers, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and yes.
No
Mhm.
question. No question.
No, absolutely no question. What we have found out is one of the top rated aspects of this whole curriculum was involving industry experts in the classroom. So anyone listening on this call, if you have a local college, a local technical college, or a local school, they have any sort of construction engineering or any sort of engineering, courses, reach out. Because as you know, I'm the associate department chair, and we love and we always say yes because we need industry to come into our classrooms. So that's one of the greatest ways to get involved within your local institution and talk about roofing and your expertise, and maybe leave a side note that I have a curriculum that I know that you can implement for free, if you're interested. So there's a lot of different ways how you can get involved within your local institution. Absolutely.
Yeah, and another way to get involved, Heidi, if I can add too, is not only serving as a guest speaker, but I'll use Arizona State University as a perfect case here. They were interested. We've partnered with them on other research. They were familiar with the Alliance, definitely knew Dhaval, had been at meetings and so forth, but they just didn't have the faculty member like Dhaval. Even, I can send you the link today, right, to the class. It's got all the PowerPoints, it has all the tests, it has all the, work at PowerPoints, outlines, whatever. But you have to have the right person, right, that's able to teach it, right? And so ASU couldn't find somebody and so forth. So there was another way to get involved. The person that's actually spearheading that class effort there and continuing that teaching is someone from the roofing industry who had since retired, right? And was interested in staying involved, was already partnering in new people and from the Arizona community. They reached out, talked to him, and now he's the one shepherding that class at ASU. Serving as the teacher. They also bring in guest lecturers too, but his vast knowledge, he was in the industry and with a lot of our manufacturer members for
Long time.
40 years. And so he's there, he has contacts, he's brought stuff in, and now that class there is also in demand. When we launched it at Cal Poly just this last spring, they modeled it more of like what Clemson's doing, right? So we had an instructor, they've participated in our student competition before, familiarity with the industry, familiarity with the Alliance, implemented it because we gave them everything to do, right? And then they brought in guest speakers for every week and followed Clemson's lead.
Yeah.
So no matter how you want to work it, again, there are a lot of options here to get involved.
Everything.
Yep.
And to that point, Tammy Hall is just saying, this is great. Florida Gulf Coast University is offering 3 elective credits in roofing in their construction management course. And they wanted to get your contact information, Dhaval. And what I was going to say for Joe and for other folks out there, reaching out to Alison and the Roofing Alliance so that she can connect you to universities close to you, reaching out to Dhaval, we can share all that. I can make those connections, or if you all want to put in the chat, whatever, however we want to do that. But this is the great stuff that really, we need more teachers. So great thing. But I want to make sure we don't run out of time to talk about the next step, which is really key. And that was, how do we bring all this great work that Dhaval and team and Clemson and Roofing Alliance had done? How do we bring it online to the industry overall? And so that is not as easy as you would think. Dhaval, how did you then go to create an online course where anybody can get a certificate?
Yes, Heidi, looks like we're transitioning to this, other part now, which is very exciting, again, to me. And, before you go there, just a note, the Florida Gulf Coast, I met with them last week and they're excited. So I'm glad that there's connections happening already based on these chats. I'm so glad. They're actually going to take one of our first courses and offer it there. So very, very exciting. Yeah. And so just to transition, so here's what was happening. As we were presenting, as we were putting together this curriculum, as we were offering these courses, the industry saw what we were doing for our students within construction management, not just at Clemson, but all over the country that now because we shared the curriculum. And one of the common questions that kept coming up was, is there any way that we can put our professionals through the program? And because it's such a robust curriculum, it's well put together, it's done backed by industry research and how folks learn research, right? Academic research. And this is one of the only types of curriculum that covers all these gamuts of different topics within our industry. How can we take our people and put through this? Because there's a need not only for workforce attraction, but for workforce retention as well, and to raise the knowledge of our people and raise the quality of our workforce. And we didn't have the answer to that. Neither did the Alliance and nor did we. But again, we never say no and we go figure it out. And so we went back and we said, there has to be a way where someone from the industry can have access to all this beautiful curriculum without having to go through school. And that's when the concept of online learning came about. There is actually a means that we were able to figure out to take all the content that we have developed and tailor it to the industry professionals. So what that meant was we had to take what was created here, do a lot of research on how the professionals learn, and modify and develop some content and tweak the content to be suitable for roofing industry professionals. And that took us about 1.5 years to complete that project. And so what we now have is similar to the roofing courses, which we talked about: roofing fundamentals, roofing management, roofing business and leadership. We have the similar courses that are tailored to industry professionals that they can take these 3 courses. And the beautiful thing about these courses is, guys, there's no quizzes, there's no semester project, there's no syllabus. What it is we have taken the bare content and given you all the content. These are all self-paced modules. So if you take course number 1, it's about 8 hours total. It's all self-paced. So once you sign up, you can finish it at your own leisure. It includes beautiful videos, PowerPoints, images, graphics. It's a fun interactive course. And if you finish the course number 1, you can get a certificate now from the Alliance and Clemson, which is a joint certificate, which, by the way, is very, very precious. Imagine having a PAW and industry logo on one certificate by going through one course. That is something special. Very, very special. So
and hasn't really happened anywhere else, right? This is really special. Yeah. This
is very rare, very special for an academic and, to share the logo and to do collaborative efforts together. And so we have 3 courses. They're about 8 hours long. The first course is self-paced. It's about 8 hours of content. You take the final exam and you have to have 75% to pass the exam and you get the certificate. And it's similar for second and number 3 as well. And if you take all 3, you get a roofing professional certificate that is officially from the Clemson PAW and from the Roofing Alliance industry. That is actually signed by Greg Bloom, since he was the president. So, and Alison and myself. So, so again, this is coming to, and to give you numbers, we have had now over 250 professionals go to this program, and we have had amazing reviews. I mean, we collect surveys and data. And it's outstanding how much has this course been elevated among the industry and how well-liked course this is, not just because it's fun, but because of the content, what you learn from these courses.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm going to take it. I was supposed to start July 1st, but I'm starting soon. And I'm really excited to see it. And I know that we have a lot of people out there who are taking it. Now, we did have one question come up from Brad, and he wanted to know when the sustainability courses will be available. Next spring? ?
So it will be next spring, which is spring of 2025, and then it'll be available for the industry professionals, similar to the first 3, somewhere around next year in the summer. We are developing that as we speak currently. Again, we don't create something just to create it. we take our time and we produce something that is quality. So right now we're focusing on understanding what is our industry doing when it comes to sustainability and resiliency. So we're collecting gazillion data points so we can come up with something that is relevant and that is quality, and not just, I mean, we can put something together just to say we have, but we don't do that, right?
No.
So it'll be available next summer.
And really,
So
for
good.
this curriculum, if I can add, Heidi, you know, when you're thinking about it for your employees or yourself, I mean, you're taking it, right? And we've had some people take individual ones. We've had some people take all three. I mean, Bob Pringle on our board of trustees and some of his staff have taken all three. And then there's an opportunity to share that certificate online on LinkedIn and so forth. But then here you've got, and kudos to Beacon Building Products and Greg and his team who have taken that next step. And I'll let Greg talk about it, but, you know, made a commitment to their company and their employees. What is it, new hires and sales, Greg? I mean,
absolutely. Obviously being intimately involved with the Alliance, but obviously also being intimately involved with Clemson, this was a no-brainer for Beacon. And with Alison and Dhaval's help, we had meetings with Beacon's training team and myself, of course, and we came up with a requirement for all new hires to take this course, the first one, the roofing fundamentals course. And if they want to take the other courses, they're more than welcome to do that. So it is now a requirement within Beacon for a new employee to take it, but we also offer it to anyone in the organization that's been with the company and wants to get a refresher, or maybe it's an admin person or in another role other than sales that wants to take the course. So, and from what I can see, it's truly taken off, and we have a lot of people taking the course right now. Some, obviously we have several that have already completed it as well. So it was like I said, it was a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, and I know others. Thank you, Greg, and again, thank you to Beacon. And there are others like Ivy Roof Systems, Eagle, John Campbell and his group.
Yeah.
I mean, he challenged. Not only he put a challenge out, and a lot of his leadership team is required to take roofing fundamentals, and then after that, they're encouraged to take the other two, and they've got a deadline by December 31 to get that done. And you know, and his email signed off, put the pedal to the metal. I just read his email
Exactly.
and get it done, right? And so, and a lot of our contractors, Baker Roofing's been a big supporter. And just a lot of other people on our board of trustees have taken it and implemented it. Some for new hires, you know, some have tried it out and are now implementing it. So I saw somebody in the chat, right? How can we do it? And we can give you a link. The beauty of it too is if you're an Alliance member, you know, there's a base price, right? One base price for anybody. And then if you're an NRCA member, there's a $100 discount. And if you're an Alliance member, it's $300 off. And if you're going to do any kind of bulk, you know, if you are going to do something where it's, you know, like what Beacon's doing or what some of our other members have done and want to buy it for multiple. Global Roofing, RJ Radabanka, who is really involved in NRC and Alliance, just bought 100 seats. So he said, I'm going to plot people in, but I want 100 seats, and then I'll figure out which class, which employee, and then he'll personalize that journey for Global with Dhaval. So that's the beauty too. You know, if you want to do what Greg talked about, and personalize it for your company, or you want to buy the block and get the discount and then figure out what to do. There are those possibilities. We're willing to work with you. I don't want anybody to think it's just set in stone and you have to do X, you know, to get your certificate. So a lot of possibilities. Anybody can reach out to me, and then I can, you know, we can make the connections with Dhaval. Just a lot of possibilities, you know, and that sustainability class will be coming. I promise you that. So.
That will be
like we got some people wanting to sign up right
don't
now.
You worry. Yep. No, just kidding.
And we're going to share how to sign up here in just a minute. So hang on for that. And Tammy, you and me, she's ready. She's going to take it. She's excited and thanking all of you and Dhaval, especially for all your hard work. And Susie, I'm really excited. We're going to get you where to do it.
Yeah. It's great.
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about the why, what it is, why you should do it, how it's helping the industry. So I want to make sure we talk a little bit about who should sign up. And Alison, you started down this road, but maybe kind of talk about that bigger picture of all the different people and how they, you know, how and who they should be signing up.
Oh, for the courses
Yeah,
specifically?
for the courses.
certificate program? Yes. So, with the, and, it's open to anybody. I'd say, hey, everybody, do it tomorrow, right? But, again, take a look at it. You can see the outlines. You can go to the best place just to start is the Roofing Alliance website, and go to roofingalliance.net. We have a multitude of information, right? But the classes are there. There's outlines that talk about what specifically is covered. If you decide to do it, it's all done automated through Clemson Online, which is a beautiful setup. But if you are an Alliance member and need that $300 discount code, you will have to try to reach out to me or somebody on staff, because I can't publish that on the Roofing Alliance website. Our site is not locked down. So then everybody would be taking it. But again, think about it too, about, if that's something that you'd like to buy that block, or, because again, the more you buy, there's a larger discount again. But, or you could try it, and one of you can take it and then come back to us and say, I'd like to do, more, especially for new hires. That roofing fundamentals class, it's great because it's soup to nuts about everything. But don't forget about, anybody else in middle management and leadership. That's what I was really pleased to see John push back, because I've talked to a couple of people personally that have said, I've been doing this for 20, 30 years. What else is there, to learn? Well, true. I'm sure someone in the industry that long knows a lot. But there are other facets, there are other opportunities, maybe then the roofing fundamentals isn't for you, but maybe roofing management or roofing business and leadership, kind of hone in on some sales skills or marketing skills, negotiation skills, etc. And, again, if you kind of look at the outlines, what's covered, it's amazing what you can pick up on. And really, when you think about it, it's 8 hours of your time, right? There's bound to be a nugget or two there that you can kind of, right, expand your horizons and kind of pick up some more information. So,
especially if
and
you're
then certificates. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, especially like if you focus in the industry on low slope roofing, but you want to learn about steep slope roofing, or you want to learn about metal roofing, you want to learn about waterproofing. There's so many ways to expand on your knowledge.
Yeah, and to both of your point, we have had manufacturers, distributors, and contractors. If you actually look at who has taken the course, and it's all the different sectors in the industry, and really this would be a great course for someone who is coming into our industry, doesn't know about our industry, or someone who is a fresh start in the industry. We have had office admin, we have had internal sales and outside sales. We have had estimators take the course, project managers, at the superintendent level, the field engineer, and just it's for anyone who just wants to expand the knowledge. If you have anyone that thinks, could benefit, because we have even had seasoned professionals, like Alison mentioned, take this course, and they said, I learned something that I didn't know before, and then they took second and third, and we hear that very commonly. So again, this is a tool for the industry. Use it, and I assure you, it's going to be rewarding for anyone that takes it.
Well, I can just say, really, it all starts at the top of a company. So as a leader, even though you maybe have 20, 30 plus years of experience in the roofing industry, you're going to learn something, and then you're going to be able to share that with the rest of your company. That is our plan at Roofers Coffee Shop. Is I'm taking it, and then I'll be able to talk with it to all these young, vibrant, amazing people who work at the coffee shop who maybe don't know as much about roofing. You're going to be able to learn that. And so I think every company out there is that way, whether you're manufacturing, distribution, contracting, media, it really doesn't matter. We all want to have that same knowledge. Greg, some of the people who have started taking it, any feedback as of yet?
Oh yeah. So I hired a gentleman from James Hardy to be in a director position for national accounts. And he's in the process of taking it. And obviously he was focused on selling composite siding, or excuse me, fiber cement siding, and all the accessories that go with it. But now he's learning all about roofing and all about waterproofing. And obviously that's going very well. And yes, and some of the other people that have taken it, completed it, and passed are ecstatic. are ecstatic about it. So thank you for asking.
And you do have 2 chances to take the test in case you don't
Correct.
pass the first time.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Correct. And, just to, make everyone aware, 8 hours seems like a lot, but you get 60 days to take it. So that equates to about 1 hour per week. It
Yeah.
could be a Friday, you could be flying, you could be at at home at nighttime. It's very adaptable to any technology. And you do get 2 chances
Right.
to pass. And it does
And you
take
can,
some.
like you said, Dhaval, you can start and stop those modules. I've had people tell me they've completed thing on all their travels on the airplane. And then I was talking to someone else a couple of weeks ago, and she has a couple of sons who play baseball. And
Yeah.
it goes on, you know how long baseball season is if you've got kids involved in that.
Yeah.
She's on the stands. She's taking the modules while they're practicing. So
In the
Right.
bleachers.
and,
We have made it
thinking-
very friendly for the industry professionals because I am from the industry. I know how much work we have, so it's really customized to the industry professionals.
Everything.
Yeah, that's funny to know, Alison. Wow.
I love it. So, okay. And here was one of the big questions. How do I get started? So Alison, let's walk through it again. How do people get going on this?
Yeah, and my bad on this PowerPoint, I didn't catch. It's roofingalliance.net.
Oh
So
my gosh, I'll fix that.
that was,
That's
yeah,
my
I
fault.
didn't catch. So roofingalliance.net, really, if you start there, like I said, you can see all of our information, but there's links to the courses and it'll take you to Clemson Online. But again, the discounts. So if you're an NRSA member, it's $100 off. If you're an Alliance member, it's $300 off. There also is bulk pricing. So again, if you're interested in larger things, you can reach out to me and even reach out to me for the code because you can actually email us at roofingalliance@nrca.net, or my personal email is LaValley@nrca.net. So
And I know that's probably not very professional for me to change that in the middle, but I want you to have the right address. So roofingalliance.net, and here it is.
I just posted the link that will take you
Dhaval
directly
put it up.
to
So
that.
thank
Perfect.
you, Dhaval, shortcutting my speech. Yes. So, and hey, in addition to that, reach out to me if you have heard this and now want to get connected to somebody, one already connected, and you want to start, talking about this program you want to teach. You want to help. You want to teach at Clemson and help Dhaval. Let us know that too. We're always looking for industry people. But and I can also share with you schools that are already, like I said, up and running, like Cal Poly and Arizona State and others. So lots of ways to get involved and just take the class too. And hey, if you need more information on the, I put my email address up. Great. And just learn about the Alliance too, if you're not already involved. I'm always available to talk. Hey, if you, like you said, everybody knows Greg. So Greg will give you an earful about the Alliance too and all the work that we're doing.
I just put my email in the chat.
Yeah. One of the biggest things, even if you're not even directly involved with the Alliance, but when we talk about philanthropy, we give back. And one of the biggest partnerships we have is with Ronald McDonald House. So if you are interested in helping out, we've adopted all 160, I had to make that plug, we've adopted all 165 standalone roofs. And those are our members, and NRCA members have done that. We repair, maintain, replace, provide materials for all those roofs. So there are opportunities to get involved with us in many shapes and forms. And I'm always around, always available if you want to talk.
And I have to tell you, having been involved for many, many years, there is nothing like the Roofing Alliance. And so if you're not a member, your company should talk to if you own the company, you should be thinking about it. If you should be talking to your ownership about why are we involved with Roofing Alliance? Obviously, you always want to be a member of NRCA because that's where all this comes from. And I really want to encourage, okay, we will get the Roofing Alliance website.net for Tim. I know you found the course description, but not links on Roofing Alliance website. I think they're on the side, right? Allison, when you have to hit the course, Tim, look at the course and then I'll take you down there. And I'll take you to the classes, the actual, and you'll see the links. But as a company, sponsor your people. I guess that's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I got outside track there, but sponsor your folks, sponsor other people. It's well worth it a million times over. So
Amen.
Any other questions out there, please get them into Tim. If you have problems finding it, just let us know. You have the emails in there. Of course, it's Heidi@RoofersCoffeeShop.com. More than happy to help anybody get connected. Last words, Greg, last thoughts.
Just for those of you that we're getting educated today about what we do at the Alliance, I hope that, we've touched your heart, we've touched your mind. And if you want to get involved, reach out for us. Dhaval, I can't say enough about what you do for our industry. Alison, I can't say enough what you do for not only our industry, but for me personally. And Heidi, you're a dear friend and you've done nothing but contribute to our industry as well. So thank you all. And I'm honored and blessed to be on this call.
Same back at you, Greg. It's so good. Alison, last thoughts.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I mean, you are, member or not, you've always been one of our biggest supporters, Heidi. And for those of you who took the time in the middle of the summer to listen to us talk and are interested, hey, thank you. It just goes again to show the beauty of this industry. My love of this industry is beyond the words that I have, especially for everybody on this panel, Heidi, Greg, and Dhaval, near and dear to my heart for sure. And like I said, I'm pretty much available 24/7. I don't sleep a lot, so you want to. My mobile number's on everything of my emails, so you want to text me, call me, do it. I'm here to help. I'm that passionate about this, and the more that we can get involved to get this work done and really elevate our industry, I'm all in. So thank you, Heidi.
That is so great. Dhaval?
Oh, I know it's 3 o'clock, so I'll keep it short, but I just want to say thank you, Greg, Alison, and Heidi. I've enjoyed working with these amazing groups of people. I know there's 3 on the call, I'm thinking, but there's also others that have really kind of pushed this, and I'm really honored to be called part of this industry. I mean, I always joke about this, that I work at Clemson University, but I feel like I'm part of the roofing industry every day.
You
I
are.
know, right? I work in the industry, so I'm
Blessed for
excited.
that.
And I'm here as a resource for all of you. I put my email out there. If you have any questions about the curriculum or workforce or courses, or feel free to reach out. Again, thank you again for joining this afternoon. I was really, really blessed and honored to be here with y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you.
It's been
Thank you,
awesome.
Heidi.
I want to say a
Thank
huge
you.
thank you to Beacon for sponsoring this and for really caring and giving back and spreading the news. So Beacon, thank you so much. We will be back with our
You're
next
welcome.
RLW at the end of the month. So be sure to join us. Keep checking out those emails and keep signing up. Thank you and have an awesome day. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.